weeks too, when we do live plays, and this is Dungeons and Dragons. Your host for tonight is the darkly attired, black-robed Phil.
Good evening. Yes, I'll be your DM tonight. We are playing episode 4, I believe, of Signs of Portents, a D&D game for these 5 good people who are going to introduce their characters, which is something I've been meaning to do over the last 3 weeks and I've completely forgotten about. So I'm going to go top left first. Jay, would you like to introduce your character, please?
Which Jay?
Not Jason, Jay.
Oh, me? All right. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, so I'm playing Valen Crowsoul, who is a wild elf, adventurer and archer. And that's pretty much...
Which basically means he's a slightly shorter human with big hands, plus various other things. He essentially became well known in his clan because he pretended he did something awesome when he actually didn't. And he then, good luck kept happening to him after the fact, even when he joined the Dominion of Silver, which is this guild basically that goes around killing monsters, kind of like monster slayers and so on. But he keeps all that to himself, hopefully so his clan doesn't find out the multitude of things he's pretended to have done. And he's just carrying on killing time with this group of people and staying well away from the Dominion of Silver and his clan.
Excellent, thank you. So, moving on across the screen, Ian.
Good evening. We're playing Sir Baal, a paladin. The Oath of Vengeance, in actual fact. He is the last, or so he thinks, the last of his order. He has been killed in some bloodthirsty attack. And his squire is missing too. His squire went missing episode before last, and we haven't encountered him yet. I hope he's out there somewhere, but we'll know.
Okay, thank you very much. Becky.
Well, yes, my name is Becky. And unlike the GM, I'm not complaining it's hot because I'm not wearing dark clothes. So I shall be playing a character which doesn't have a name. It is of a feline descent, a tabaxi. And the peculiar thing about this particular tabaxi is whenever she's seen by anyone, she wears these wrapped netting and cloth around her and always has this metal face mask on. She doesn't like exposing any part of herself to, which is considered unlucky amongst her clouder. And so she has no clouder. She was dispensed, sent to wander the world alone. And alone she has been ever since, until stumbling amongst these people. She's learned, has spent her time discovering...
Not least, Ronnie.
Hi, yes, this is Ronnie. We are a noble family, deeply involved in the diplomatic corps. But I really don't want to be part of the diplomatic corps. I want to see the world. I want to talk about the world, to sing and to play, the great performance. I am intrigued by so many mysteries. I want to know about all the world. I want to know about its various peoples. Right now, I'm rather curious to what the half-dwarf means by having big hands, amongst other things. Because that's rather intriguing me at the moment. I think there might be a song in that. But other than that, I've sort of been roped in by fate with this ragtag group, and I'm hoping to keep their spirits up. And most importantly, I want to try and get over my color blindness, where I can't actually tell silver from gold, which unfortunately came back to bite me last week when I gave people like, yes, I believe the party were extremely happy about it, although possibly not in the same way.
And would anyone like to recap for a point of inspiration?
Oh, that trope of the DM.
Yes. Well, I've learnt from you lot, so it's your own fault.
Well, basically, we managed to reach the big estate. I'm trying to remember where the map is, but I'll get back
There,
to it in a
there was
sec.
a chase up the coast with this group of hunters when we
Mm-hmm.
got to the castle and were rewarded with estates of our own.
And the infamous negotiation tactics from the half-elf. And then, after settling in for the night, and Cressida wanting us to work for her again, and sleeping on it, we were invited to...
Entirely unplausible copy of the scroll you were looking at, and managed to slide it back into the records. So you have kept possession of the original.
Okay.
And you left the Imperial Archive, and we sort of left you wandering through the Imperial Gardens, wondering what we were going to do next.
That's right, I do have the original, don't I?
Yes.
But I can't read it, can I?
No. The idea was, because it's quite an old scroll, that Cressida was going to interpret it for you.
That's it, yes. Well, I shall head there then, but I might gather the rest of the adventurers first.
Yes, you can certainly do that. They've all just left the archive, and you're sort of like you're somewhere in, let me just, if I can share this screen. I've not tried this before, but if I can get the map up, we can share. Oh, that's not working. Why is share not working? Share is working.
We're seeing your screen.
Excellent. So this is Huthwaite, which is the imperial capital. This is the palace, and you've just left here, which is the archive. So you're around about this patch of grass, this side of this, all sort of there.
We must
We're
find
not
Lady
too
Cressida
far.
then, surely.
Okay. So you can sort of travel back down this road or this road, this sort of the way you came, and around the edge of the actual palace proper.
Do we want
And you get to sort of
find
like
Lady Cressida?
I was going to say, didn't
Sorry?
the Emperor tell her to go and rest?
He invited her to visit her son, who's under medical care within the palace.
We shall ask a flunky. Where could we find the Lady Cressida? She was visiting her son.
He'll say that will be over in the Palace of the Regents, which is this long building over here. Oh yes, sorry, yeah, Jason, go for the inspiration.
Thank you very much.
Yes, so yeah, you quite easily pointed out there's guards and there's servants all over. So yeah, you can ask directions and get directed to the Palace of the Regents quite easily. That's not a problem.
Are we all agreed this is the right thing to do? We're employed by the Lady Cressida. We have the information she needs.
Yes.
Well, I think the only thing we haven't agreed on, or whether we believe it or not, is what we're going to do with it once we found it.
I think we all have an understanding there.
Yes, well, my view is that this power is far too great, quite frankly, for either side. Regardless of whether their intentions are honorable or not, I firmly believe that such power will utterly and ultimately corrupt them. And I don't think either of them should get a hold of it, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much.
Agreed.
I do agree. It seems like we should get rid of it before.
Okay.
Like I say.
So you sort of have an agreement on your course, but does that include still finding Lady Cressida?
We must
Yeah,
find
it does.
her.
Okay.
We
I
must.
don't see why we can't use her abilities at the moment.
Okay. You can reach somewhere around this intersection here by the big pools, and you actually see someone you recognise. You see Io, who is the Lady Cressida's handmaiden, looking quite distressed and a bit confused. Oh, was that my mic, Ian? Oh, Ian, sorry.
Sounds really.
Yeah, you see Io looking quite distressed and confused. And as you approach her, she turns to face you, and you see her face just brighten. And she says, "Oh, I'm so glad I found you. I've been looking everywhere. The Lady Cressida sent me to find you, and I was afraid you'd already left, and I was never going to be able to locate you."
Pray, lady, what
She
is the matter?
she has returned to our house, and she urges you to go there as soon as possible. She says things are getting desperate.
Oh dear. Lead on then, please.
Okay, so you can travel out of the palace via this route, and the quickest way over to the city is over this quite large bridge, and off to Cressida's house, which is somewhere here near the river. The streets of the city are packed. There's a lot of people about. There's a lot of traders. Um, Shops are open for business, and you know that this city is basically only in existence to service the palace and the people that work there. If Radcliffe is the centre of commerce for the empire, this is the seat of power, and the city is completely focused around the palace. But what that does bring to the city is everything seems to gravitate here, so you can find pretty much anything you want in the city. So as you travel through, there are stalls out in the streets, there's smells of spices, and there's strange music and bright colors and languages from all over, some you've never heard before, and peoples from all over the world. It's quite a diverse, quite bright, vibrant city. And as you sort of pass through, taking all this in, being a bit sort of amazed by all the new sights and sounds, you can reach Lady Cressida's house without any real problems. And when you enter when you get to the gates are open for you by her bodyguards, and which is our house staff, and the IO leads you inside, and Cressida's waiting for you inside, and she when she sees you, she seems quite surprised, and she says, I didn't really expect you to return. I thought the Emperor would have swayed your opinion.
We were summoned here, my lady, by you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
You were summoned, my lady. We were summoned, my lady, by you, by your handmaiden.
Yes, thank you for returning so quickly. But as I say, I didn't expect you to return. The Emperor can be quite persuasive. I'm sure he made a play for your loyalties.
He has not asked
How can I
us.
be sure?
He has not asked us for anything, but he did give us a nice scratching post.
I
That throws her a little bit scratching post.
An estate. haven't seen
Yes, he can reward you quite handsomely, and obviously that's a bribe. I would ask you to be honest with me and ask you all now how many of your hearts are still in this.
He has not asked anything of us. He just rewarded us for rescuing you.
Hmm.
He's not.
I don't owe him anything.
No, my lady. I come from a family that prides itself in playing the game. I understand the game very much. As for my loyalty, if you had been there, you would have seen that I returned the gift, or more accurately, that I asked to be placed amongst the fallen. As
That
for
is
your demands, your commandment to aid you in finding this other eye, I cannot speak for the rest of my party, although I feel I could, in stating that we are resolute in our determination to aid in finding this second eye.
I'm very glad to hear so. And your honour is obviously of strict importance to you. If you have turned down such a gift from the emperor, that is very speaks very well for you, Hadarai.
I asked that the value of the estate be given instead to the families of your fallen soldiers and handmaid, the victims on the boat that we lost.
That is very generous of you, and I honestly hope that that money, that wealth, will actually find their intended target.
I
But
hope
I
so
fear it will
too.
stay sitting in the imperial coffers.
Oh, I doubt that.
But are the rest of you of the similar
I
mind?
pull out the documents that I took and put them down on whatever side table or whatever's nearby.
And her eyes widen and light up. Is that what I think it is? Is
It
that the
is.
scroll?
Depends what you think it is, but yes.
Wow, I didn't expect you to retrieve something like that so quickly.
It was
How
strangely simple.
really? She
Hmm.
says she's quite surprised. She says, "Well, that's
I asked for
everyone
directions.
expects it's going to be really difficult. I mean, probably that's very possibly why no one tries this sort of thing. That is unbelievable. She's obviously really excited at this point, and she sort of forgets the reservations that she was starting to have. And she says, "I must go now. I'll get the eye," and she disappears upstairs. And she comes back very shortly. The eye from the case, you can see that this green gem has gone even darker, because she said it would get darker as the time came close for it to be reunited with its partner. So it's got darker again, and it's really it's a real dark, like teal green at the moment. And she places it on the table, and she sits down in a chair in front of the scroll. And she says, "Please, could someone get me a map from the bookcase?"
Holds it down, covers it over, and lays it down on the table.
Okay, so she sort of places that side by side with the scroll, and she looks at Rorik, and she says, "Would you hold the eye to my forehead, please?"
He looks a little confused and says, "What, as in touching your head?"
Yes,
With
just
this?
touch my forehead with the eye. And she reaches out her hands, and she places one on the scroll and one on the atlas. Index fingers
Well,
touching this paper.
I'm sort of holding it, and I'm a little worried that she's chosen me. And I say, "Well, surely your knight is more suited to this, my lady. I'm just a man from the hills."
And she looks up and says, "If you think you cannot manage it, then Sir Bior, please."
Oh, well, oh, hold on. I'm not saying that. I'm learning your culture, but if you want me to do it, then okay, fine, I will do it. And
Okay,
I
so
kind
you
of
hold the eye, sort of center of her forehead, just touching the skin, and she puts her index finger on the parchment and on the map book, and she starts to chant very quietly. And as she chants, she starts tracing the symbols on the scroll with one index
While
finger,
she's
and that sort of pattern is getting mimicked on the map.
while she's distracted with all of this, I'm going to start making notes on the ritual she's actually doing.
Okay, yep, it's a chant in ancient imperial.
Okay, it's a language I know.
Yes, and it's reasonably basic but repeated quite a lot. And the fingers trace the pattern, and as she's tracing the pattern on the parchment, her finger on the map is slowly moving southwards, and it heads south out of Morwen and down through the southern Greenlands, over the southern mountains into the Ashad Desert, and suddenly stops at some ancient ruins. And she says, "Here, this is where it will land."
What ruins are those?
And she peers at the map, and she says, "It appears to be some temple or religious site. It's." She pauses for a moment and says, "I don't recognise the name. I don't recognise the civilization that built it, but it's on the borders of the desert by the mountains."
How many days' travel is that?
Looking at the map, you can tell that's probably going to be several days' travel south,
Is
and then to the mountains, and then a couple days through the mountains.
is this within the realms of your empire?
This is outside of the empire.
What
The empire ends at the mountains.
domain is it within?
It's a wasteland. It is the desert,
Oh, I see.
the southern
Well,
desert.
that's not creepy at all.
She says, "This this is a very dangerous trip. There's nothing beyond those mountains. No civilization for miles, hundreds of miles beyond those mountains. There's no indication of what's out there. Many people have tried to find trade routes south and have never come back."
That would rather give credence to the notion that there is something there.
I
It may not hold civilization as we know it, but it certainly sounds like there's something in that desert.
Yes,
if it's
that's what the stories say.
if people do not return from there, then might I make a small suggestion, given that we are just seemingly, it would appear, adventurous now. Some of our group here are, if they are to come on this adventure, perhaps needing better arms and armor.
Better arms and armor. Yes, I can understand that. She says.
If the royal facilities have things that might aid in such a quest.
There's the city outside, she says. "I'm sure you can find what you need in the city. All sorts of exotic things gravitate towards Huthwaite."
I think what my feline friend is alluding to is If you are wishing us to go with you, Lady Cressida, then perhaps you should bankroll any armor and armaments necessary for our safe journey.
Of course, I didn't even think. She said, "Yes, yes, I will. I will. Certainly." Would you?
Otherwise, subtly
sort of
known
like,
as give us a cash.
and she sort of says, "Now the eye is here. Would anyone like any further readings?"
Presumably, the eye's kind of. I've taken the eye off her forehead now.
Yeah, you can have done. Yeah, you can take it away
Can I
now.
Have I felt anything like from the contact?
As far as you can tell, it's been cold and heavy just all the time we're holding it. There's been no change in the eye at all.
Okay.
There is a reading I would like to attempt to do myself, Lady Cressida.
Certainly. What, with the
I
eye?
may attempt it.
You can attempt it.
Okay. I will give it a
I
go.
back away at that point, like sort of put the eye down and just sort of
I
move
want
away.
to try and read her future, but I've never done this before. But I'm gonna try using the eye, and on the forehead. and stuff.
Okay.
And I want to try and read her future. How does one go about this?
She says, I find personally that if I stretch my arm out to the person I'm reading, I can sort of pick up the vibrations, she says, is the only way to describe it, from the person. And those vibrations will almost resolve into images in my head. And it's those images I have to
I
interpret.
see. The resonance of magic in the air. Yes, I have sensed magic in the air before.
It's almost as the eye makes that process easier.
Well, I've sensed magic in the air before, but I've never tried this with it. Let me attempt it now, and I'll try to read her future.
Yeah, the mention of vibrations, I actually get my shield out and put it in front of me.
So they're going to be hiding behind a chair, like the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to set up. She sits up straight and sort of like waits for you to start. I think you're going to have to do a wisdom saving throw on this one.
Okay. 4.
4. Yeah, you can feel some sort of vibration, but you just don't get any picture.
It seems that's not my kind of magic. What a shame.
She says, it's your first time, my dear, she says. It will take practice.
No doubt.
Maybe in the future you can try again.
Well, let me observe as you do me.
Okay. So what she does is she puts the eye on the table in front of her and puts one hand on the eye, and she reaches her hand out towards your head. She closes her eyes and concentrates. And she says, your last reading, I talked about your power, but your power is going to grow and grow the closer you travel to its source. Have you ever been south, she says?
In a manner of speaking. It's not that I've travelled south, it's that I travelled north.
Beware, she says. You have danger in the south waiting for you.
Oh. I understand. More than you could possibly know.
Can I help anybody else at the moment, she says.
I would like a reading, my lady.
Certainly, said Beor. Please, come closer.
I shall kneel before her, since he's probably seated.
So she holds her hand out and
Oh, my head.
she says, "Your past is going to return to haunt your future. Your order calls out for justice. But your honor will destroy you."
Be that as it may, justice is what will be, or what it will prevail.
Quite true, Sir Bayor, she says. And as you as you rise to get up from the seat, she puts her hand out to your forearm. She says, look to the young for the truth.
Very well. Thank you.
And I can sense, she says, that all of you, danger is close for all of you.
I imagine so. This place sounds very dangerous.
Yes, it's very dangerous. All I see ahead of you is danger for all of you.
Nothing we can't handle, though.
By that, do we take it
Yes,
that we will
everyone
not
talk-
accompany us?
We want to see your beautiful face.
Yes,
you
she
are
says,
you are hulking out.
it'll get better when I calm down. There is danger for all of you ahead, she says. So,
Does
I
that mean, my lady,
sense-
that you are not coming with us?
I would like to come with you if you think that is wise. I think I would be of help to you all, and we must bear in mind that
We cannot protect the stone.
one
if it
vision
stays
I've
here.
seen. It might be better if it comes with us. If it might give us an advantage, but I feel great apprehension, like there's someone among us who is trying to destroy us all.
Look around.
Would anyone else care for a reading? Looking around the group.
Are you sure you want to read me this time?
Rorik. Yes, I know your last reading didn't bode well, but who knows? We might get more clarity on it.
Then if you are willing, my lady, I'd be happy to.
Please take a seat, she says. And as you sit
Take
down,
a
she
sip of wine
repeats the
first.
usual ritual she goes through. And she says, I can see the same future for you, but there are three paths, three chances you have to avoid your future. Don't answer the question of the shadows. Don't follow the black crow, and turn your back on your power.
The Black Crow.
Then she suddenly stiffens and starts to shake a little bit. And then she says in a dark, raspy voice, her lips pull back from her teeth, and she shows her black teeth, and she says, lonely, so lonely, darkness, soon to be in the light, so bright, so dry, so hot, so barren, but soon. And then there's a rap on the door, and she snaps out of it, breathing quite heavily.
Yeah, I downed the rest of my wine.
Io runs to the door and opens it up. And she says, Sir Bayor, there's someone here to see you and your friend.
Very well. I shall head for the door.
As you walk to the door, you can see standing outside in full golden armor is a officer of the Imperial Guard.
What can I do for you?
And he says, "I'm here to deliver you your papers," he says, and he reaches into his pouch and he pulls out 4 brand new parchments with a big red seal on them, and he starts handing them out to you 4. He says, "These are from the Emperor via the Chancellor's office." He says, "The Chancellor hopes you approve of your estates, and are ready. They are all ready to receive you, and he hopes that you will take every opportunity to take up your new holdings without delay." He passes you these parchments.
Thank you. Presumably he leaves.
He turns on his heel and marches back to his horse, climbs on it, and with 2 compatriots, turns and leaves through the gate.
That's it. I'll close the door. Parchments,
So Preston says, "What is it? What are they giving you?"
Sealed parchments. Presumably the estates.
Yes, they are. They actually are the deeds to your estates. Each one of you has received like 2,000 acres of land.
Well, I shall walk over to the plate or whatever she placed the coins of the bags of coin on the other day.
Yeah.
And place the deeds by the side of the bag which I left there originally. And walk away.
She says, "There isn't much time. If you're still willing to go, we must prepare to head south as soon as possible."
Yoink.
Need
I have
food provisions and then we can go.
So, Becky, I take it you're keeping your mortgage scroll?
Mortgage? Wait, what?
Yeah. No, not mortgage, sorry. Land deed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping mine as
Both
well.
sides of a coin?
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping these. It's mine now, whether he likes it or not.
Okay, so you can. What do you want to do? Do you want to go shopping in the city?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna dive out and see if I can resync this video a second.
Okay.
Okay, just leave Colin and come back.
Angry again.
It's in sync.
But in sync,
Good.
and that's all that matters.
So she says, "Yes, we need to prepare to head south as soon as possible. You talked of gathering provisions and items. Yes, I will pay for your equipment, anything you need. If you would like to go and gather it as soon as possible, please."
Right. Any
Right.
shops in this city with magical artifacts?
There are lots of stalls and that sort of There's things around that you can purchase, whether it be components or bits and pieces. Yeah.
These landings. Do we know if there's any buildings on, or are they just pieces of land?
Which bit's that?
These
Sorry.
estates.
Well, for landings, the estates.
Oh,
do they have
yes,
buildings
there
on them, or
are
just
there are
pieces of
buildings
land?
on them. Yes. If you read the deed, you have a villa, you have outbuildings, stables, and there'll be either sort of like wine. There'll be vines or fruit trees or something, or cattle. There'll be something on them. They are fully formed, fully operational farms.
And what about staff? Do they come with them as well, or do we have to pay for them separate?
They do come with a small number of house staff.
Right. And are they paid by the emperor, or we have to pay them?
Yes.
No, no.
So they come
No.
out. Right. Okay.
You want jam on it?
Yeah, basically.
No, you got to pay for them.
Okay.
You got to hire people to tend the land, and you've got your basic estate staff effectively.
It's not worth the paper it's written on, which was part of the reason I dumped mine.
No.
What you have there is a legal requirement to pay tax.
It's all right.
Oh yeah, there'll be tax involved.
That's all right.
You'll
Keep, don't sell it on. I mean, it's my deed and do it.
Yeah, you could sell it on. If you want to insult the emperor, you crack on.
No skin on my nose.
Yes, so you can venture out into the city, back out into the streets with its myriad stalls and shops. And
Once we're out of earshot of the empress or whoever she is, I'm going to basically say, look. So hold on a second. This job is meant to be dangerous. Are we not just making it more dangerous by having her tag along because we've now got
We
babysit
need
her?
the stone near us.
Yeah,
It's the easiest way.
yeah. She's not gonna. If we
Whilst
leave
how can we
her,
get rid of it.
if we leave her here, she'll keep the stone. She'll keep that eye with her. The only chance we have of making sure we can destroy both of them is if she comes with us. Because if she comes with us, she'll take the eye.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a dangerous game because she's going to be right close to both of them, and then we pull the switch. But
Having said that, I felt very uneasy with her episode back there.
I did
Black
not
teeth
know it
and
was the
everything.
stone itself speaking. If that the
Quite
power of
possibly.
the stone comes from some entity or other. The words it was saying
Yeah,
suggested it was there in the desert.
Mm.
all the more reason I think why we need to end this, and not in the way that either the Emperor or Empress are looking
Nonetheless,
for.
magical weapons, armor, and ion stones.
I'm going to see my family, Phil.
okay, for any particular reason, or
Yeah. Something that was mentioned in passing. I'm just going to shore up.
okay. So what does everyone else want to do? Are you just all shopping for equipment?
I would probably go to the blacksmiths.
There's plenty of blacksmiths around.
There is just
Fantastic.
one thing on my shopping list and one thing only, and that's a +1
Okay.
intelligence ion stone. But if I see anything that interests the others, I'll let them know. But that's what I'm after.
Oh,
What, are you sort of like sticking together at shopping? Or are you all diving off individually, going in pairs? Apart from obviously,
I don't know.
have a right.
We'll speak to some locals and get advice and etc. But I don't know how many places would even be likely to have magical equipment. We've got standard equipment.
Rarer than other stuff, obviously, but you can pretty much pick up anything you want in the market, the big
Okay.
bazaar. That you get all the locals will point you to that's the place to go to get pretty much anything you want. The blacksmiths, however, they are more out on the edge of town, more towards the red town church that's out on the outskirts of town.
Okay. I turn to Bayor and say, I imagine your blade needs wetting.
I have my own stone. I
Yes.
think provisions will be more the order of the day.
Fair. I have my own stone too, but I want a special treat for my sword.
Okay. Do you wish me to accompany you?
If you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're pretty much breaking up. I think so. Hadorai's heading off to his family. I think probably Valen is going to disappear into the crowds somewhere, and so
Yeah,
be
I'm going to look for
able.
a Fletcher as well. I want to look for a Fletcher.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Um, so I say Cat can walk with Hadorai for a certain amount of time towards the bazaar, and before parting, and Hadorai can go off to his family's holdings in the city, and Cat can search the market.
I just walk up to every likely stall and say, "Iron stone?"
You get pointed after a while to a small dark alleyway behind stalls, and so down there should be what you seek. And it's obviously this is not a particularly well travelled thoroughfare.
Hmm. Okay. I will chalk up the pavement a bit and cast a ritual before I go in there.
Okay.
Which is detect magic.
Okay, sure.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I'll quickly etch out a little magical rune on the ground, a little pentagram or something. Utter some words under my breath, and then with a final gesture from my eyes, what I will see will glow if there's anything magical, and I have a look down the alleyway.
Yes, you can see a dull light coming from the left-hand side of the alleyway.
What shape is this light? Does it emanate from a door crack?
It just spills across the alleyway and up the far wall. And as you walk down the alleyway, you come to this. You can see that it is it's a shop with like an open front and a very like market stall like front to it. And inside that, there are some things. The stuff on the stall outside aren't glowing at all. They're just hickledy-pickledy stones and bits of twig and all sorts of bits and pieces. But inside, you can see the odd thing glowing.
I'm going to walk in then. I rather expected I was about to be mugged or attacked, but okay, I walk in.
Hello. What can we do for you?
I'm looking for an iron stone.
An ion stone. And do you have the sort of wherewithal to pay for that?
I'm a friend of both the Emperor and his mother, or stepmother. I have estates.
I tell you what.
Question. I mean, I would
Well,
have said no a week
there's
ago.
a lot.
Fortune is what it is.
We'll say what happened as well is Cresta could have given you a seal to take with you, or each of you had a seal to take with you out to the city to identify you as sort of like in her charge.
I used the words first before resorting to physical proof.
Yeah. Okay. So he says that such a thing is extremely rare. He says it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Ooh, he says. Let me think. I think it's going to be probably 2,000 gold.
How about 2,000 acres? Oh, actually, could I do 2,000 gold out of my change? Not quite. How about 2,000 acres?
2,000 acres? 2,000 acres of what?
I pull out the deeds.
And he unrolls it and says, This is an estate on the banks of the
I'll have all your
Earby.
other magic items
Shit.
too.
He stutters. He goes, "This can't be real. No one gives away this."
Where I'm going, I won't need a house. But I do need an ion stone of intellect. And I want this glowing thing here and here, because I can see magic right now, and those things, whatever they are mine.
Okay, so he says, yes, all right then. If this proves to be, he said, I'm talking under his breath now. If this proves to be, good, then this is worth a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
So he starts pulling stuff off the shelves, and he pulls up because this is a hag stone, and this is a whatever, and he puts it all in a pile for you. And he says,
See what's glowing, so I go straight to an iron stone if there's one there.
Yeah, you do get an ion stone of intellect, but you're going to have to. You'll point that out to you and place it in front of you. So there's your stone, he says, and you can have all this other stuff. He says, take whatever you want in the shop.
I'll take all the things that glow.
You can take anything you whether it glows or not. You can have it all.
You as the GM, I take all the things that glow.
Okay.
Because I've got detect magic up.
Okay. So
it's like killing a dragon, this.
So yes, you can do that. Okay. You get I'll give you a list of stuff in a sec. So Hadarai, what do you want to do? You're off to see your family.
Yes. And I'm going straight to the source. I want to speak to my father. I think I'm going to need someone. I think I'm going to need someone high up to pull off this little stunt.
Okay, so he says, how can we help you when you get there? This is the butler at the door. How can we help you, sir?
I wish to see my father. I do not have an appointment.
You do not have an appointment? Well, how do you expect to get in, he says.
It's called being his son. It's kind of a one-stop-fits-all sort of pass, as in let me.
You've not seen this guy before, and he's quite startled by what you said. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I will get his lordship immediately.
I raise my voice, not in an angry tone, just to give it projection, and just say, "Father, Father."
He goes, "Oh, Hadarai, it's you. I didn't expect to see you again quite so soon. How can we help you?"
I would have 15 minutes of your time, Father.
I suppose I can spare 15 minutes before I go back to the palace, he says.
Well, the fact that you're going back to the palace is perfect for my need.
And what do you need at the palace? I thought you'd given all this up. I thought you were all too good for this.
I saw you at court today when we were given our tokens of appreciation by the Emperor.
Yes, he said, and fancy giving away the Emperor's favour like that. I was quite shocked.
Yes, well, someone else was equal as Master of Coin was looking frowningly upon the suggestion that he would have to liberate money from the Emperor's coffers to pay out all those families. I happen to know that you know him. You're a man of honor, Father. We have that in common, at least. I think it would be in the Emperor's best interest, given that it was his edict, that the Master of Coin, if he should show some reluctance in paying the families what the Emperor has decreed they are due, that you might bring some influence to bear on his decision.
I can see what you're saying, Hadorai.
I can
Yes,
see what I'm saying as well.
I happen to agree with you in this case. Now, the Emperor has made a decree. It should be carried through. You cannot have an Emperor going back on his word. No, I will do what you ask.
Good. There is one other matter. The Empress is considering taking a small tour of the southern area of the kingdom. She wants to meet with the people and so on.
Strange time to be leaving.
Well, I think she wants to do one of those reassurance things, you know, walk with the common folk, reassure them that the crown is working for them, that sort of thing. The problem is we lost the eye.
So I understand. The Emperor was very disappointed.
He was. Unfortunately, when you start going down into those areas, you better believe that there will be a certain amount of the populace who you could tell them to your blue in the face that you have lost the eye, and they will not believe you. What they will see when they see the Empress is a chance to get this wondrous, mythical, powerful, blooming piece of trinket which is worth a tidy penny. Now,
what are you asking for?
We saw this bauble just briefly. Unfortunately, before we lost it. I could give you the basic sort of size and shape of the thing, the colouring and so on. I know you know enough jewellers in this town. Could you come up with 2 identical pieces for me?
You've seen the eye and you can describe it. So
briefly.
We could get something made, but the legends say that the thing changes colour. How can you reproduce that?
Well, you know, I'm not without a certain amount of flair. I think I can fix that. Look, the point is, if we get some doldrum who asks for the eye, I can give one of these bloody things away. I don't even care if it's glass quartz. It doesn't have to be a jewel. I just need it to be, and I give him the size, the dimensions, and the color. Okay. That it's a sort of dark green.
What and how long do you have before you need this?
Well, it's sounding like she wants to.
A couple of days, he says.
I'm sure I can convince the Empress, the Lady Cressida, to hold off her her tour of the southern regions of the Empire for a couple of days. At least if I have 2, we can try this trick twice. Hopefully we won't have to try it a 3rd time.
Okay, then can you roll persuasion for me?
I was doing really well until you said that.
Why? Isn't that your forte?
Yeah, but it's my dice.
Oh, right, okay. See what you're saying.
That's a total of 16.
Oh, okay, we've done that. Okay, yes, Hadaroi, I think I can assure you that we can have something within a couple of days for you. It will have no actual value, though. You do realise this.
It just has to look the part.
It will look something like you've described.
Thank
He
you,
says.
Father.
Okay,
I will
so
bid you good day. I'm going to head back to Lady Cressida's at that point. I'm not actually sure.
um, okay, so Bayor and Rorik, you march through through the city side by side, off to find your blacksmith, and you know you can find a street where there's several.
I pick one that has a smithy who looks very well travelled, certainly.
And what can we do for you, fine folk? Oh, our lord! Wow, come in, sir, come in.
Step in, but remain silent.
What can we do for you?
Actually, it is for me. I wish
Oh,
to have my soul wetted, please.
you do? Oh, certainly, certainly. Anything else we can do for you? A bit of armor, perhaps?
I take a look at my chainmail and I notice a little bit bottom is frayed. If you've got anything better than this.
I'm sure we can find something. He says. What would you? What would you? I think we probably got something that small. Yeah.
Oh, come on, I'm not that small.
I don't know if we've got any gloves for those hands though. They seem a bit big.
Fine, I'll keep my own gloves.
So yeah, you can find a breastplate for you if you want, and some what's it called? Then the arms, greaves,
Ooh, greaves.
if that you want. Do you want something to cover your legs? He said, or is that going to restrict your movement?
No, I'd rather keep my legs free. Helps me move faster.
Vambraces
Okay.
up the arm. Breathe
So-
silent.
Sorry, Ian, what was that?
Vambraces are the arms.
Oh,
Breathe
yeah.
silent.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so he sort of says, and is there anything we can do for your friend? Can we outfit a gentleman today?
Sure there is, but there was one more thing I wanted off you, if possible.
Yes, certainly.
Information.
Okay.
And I described this desert on the edge of the mountains. Ask if they know anything about it.
Yes, it's meant to be an extremely dangerous place. Few return from down there, and they say the ones that have gone mad. Talk
Why?
monsters, hideous monsters, throwing poison.
Like scorpions, perhaps snakes.
Something like that. He says something big and nasty. Anyway, I've known some pretty big soldiers break down and crying just talking about it. Sort of guys you would think would, stand up to anything.
Do you know of anybody who has come back?
Yeah, there's been a few. He says there's been a few. There's Sir Roderick. Yes, he came back probably 18 months ago now.
Is he local?
He's in the city somewhere. He says that he can't wield a sword anymore.
Where do you think we can find him?
Down by the river, I expect. Down by the docks. He's probably looking for some labour now. Just some work.
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
You're quite welcome, he says. Anything we can do, you come back here with the best armour and weaponsmith in town. and one of them turns around and says, "Surveyor, I thought you were dead."
Is it Gerard?
Yes, it is. He seems quite excited to see you, and his eyes light up. He says, "I thought you were dead. I never thought I'd see you again."
What happened?
I was knocked unconscious and found on the riverbank, and brought to the city. I've been in the palace for these last few days, but I never thought to see you again.
No idea.
Wow, he said, "I cannot believe it. This is incredible. Please," he says, "take me back into your service."
Very well.
And he chats to the rest of his companions for a while, and they then move off and go away. He will stay with you. You can see he's wearing the sort of very similar uniform as you saw the servants wearing in the palace.
We'll have to change that. And don't go getting knocked unconscious again.
No, sir. I mean, I don't know what happened. These people just came from nowhere. It was up over the sides of the barge, and there's arrows flying in.
Hold my hand up. No more excuses.
Sir.
Come along. We have some.
And he follows you. Is there anything else you wants to buy? What you want to buy in the city?
Yep, enough provisions to last our party. How far did you say? I've forgotten now. Was it a week?
Yeah, a week. Yeah, you can get the
So-
provisions sent to Lady Cressida's house without much problem. Everyone knows where it is. Yeah, you can order all that.
Plenty of water, pack mules, the usual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my intention would be to seek out Sir Roderick at this time.
Okay, so you need to move closer to the river, to where the docks are, where they receive all the river barges coming up the river from Radcliffe, unloading all the various goods. But yeah, you can go down there and you can start questioning a few people as to where this Roderick is, and you're not getting much luck. People aren't inclined to give you any information.
I mean, have I heard of him before?
You've not heard of him before, no. But you get the impression that these people are saying to you, "We don't like people asking questions around here. What do you want?"
Would I be able to use my folk hero background to try and persuade
You
them
could.
in another way? I say to them, you've heard of me, surely? I am simply trying to seek out somebody I know, an old friend of mine.
Oh, you're that famous guy that joined the Dominion of Silver.
That's the one.
Oh, Dominion of Silver, we know them. And he sort of nudges, yeah, go on, have a drink, he says, and he holds out a jug towards you.
Thank you. In fact, the reason why I'm looking for this man is because I'm going out with the Dominion of Silver on a new mission, and he can help me.
And they laugh and says, he's not going to be any help to anybody. He can't.
Oh, no, he's not coming with me. I get that, but he has secrets, information I need.
Oh, you might find him down there. He's white-haired, with beard, wearing rags. You'll probably smell him before you see him.
Thank you. And I toss him.
You go off.
Toss him some
Yeah,
coins.
you get there. You can see a guy. He's obviously drunk. He's sort of like stumbling around, trying to move some boxes, wearing rags, white hair, white beard.
I take out a flask of that wine from Cresta's house. I say, my friend, do you want something a bit nicer, surely?
Oh, thank you, sir. You're obviously a gent. Oh, that's wonderful. I've had anything like this for so long. He takes it from you if you give it to him, if you let him have it.
Yeah, why not? If he kind of yanks it off me,
So
fine.
he's, oh, that's good stuff. He says that's fine wine. That is. That's obviously
Don't drink it all at
pure.
once.
Oh,
But you're Sir Roderick, aren't you?
and he stops and he's sort of like, I was once.
Well, I was hoping that you could help.
Help, help. No, I can't help anybody.
But you've been places. You know things. I need what you
I,
know.
I know too many things. Too many things I can't think about.
If I can, I can. I'm trying to sort of sit him down somewhere so he's a bit more relaxed, that kind of thing.
As you talk to him like that, he becomes, he's a lot more. You just brought him right down. You can sort of steer him anywhere he's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him from not from panicking because obviously I'm going to start talking about the desert and I don't want him to freak out or anything. So I say there is a huge wasteland I believe you've been to.
No, I guess I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it.
You must know something. You've been so brave. You've come back here in one piece.
It's just that's just where I stopped running.
Stop running. What do you mean?
There's 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 so many horrors down there. I don't know why anyone would call it a wasteland.
I kind of lean more in closely to him and kind of put my hand around his shoulder and say,
You can feel he's sort of shuddering as he's talking as well.
Roderick, if you can give me some information about what you've seen, you could possibly save this city.
Save the city, but
Yes.
these things aren't coming close, are they?
No, not yet. But think, you could be a hero again. I will speak your name across this nation if you can help.
We I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It's oh, you can see he's obviously struggling. He doesn't want to remember, but it's coming back to him anyway. He says, "If it was only, sorry,
Can you write it down, maybe? Would that be easier? Or draw it?
he says, if it was only things like the scorpions, if it was only the giant scorpions, it would have been one thing. But the thing that came during the night, we made camp near some ruins." He says, and everything was fine for the first night, and the second night it came, and it took the first man without a sound. The second one died screaming, and it just came through the walls at us. We couldn't see it. You couldn't stop it. I saw 3, 4, 5 friends die, and I just ran. I just ran.
But you led to tell the tale. And that is what matters.
But do you understand?
Yes, please. We also seem to have a sound problem on the stream, so um, we'll test it when we come back. We might remake it. No, you'd have heard me on Discord, but not on the stream. So, testing for my sound, and Phil again. Okay. I can, but I'm just going to listen for the stream. We don't appear to be getting. Steve can hear me on the stream. Let's just see if Steve can hear Phil talking. We have to give that 30 seconds to filter through and see if Steve had heard Phil or not. Okay, so that's not working. Boogerations. If you do not set scissors, you may not. Right. Let's try that again. So, Phil or Ronnie, can one of you talk? Okay, could you hear them just then? I don't know if... yeah. Just waiting for confirmation. Talk a bit more, guys. Okay, right, so we will remake the stream. We'll look out for video 4B. Sorry about technical issues. Okay, so going to end this one now and recreate it.